I'm a 31-year-old software developer caught in what feels like a TV drama, except it's my real life. 3 months ago, my relationship of 2 years ended with my ex-girlfriend in a way I never expected. I met her at a friend's house party. She worked in marketing, and we clicked immediately. The first year was amazing. We traveled on weekends, tried new restaurants, and spent hours watching movies together. Our families got along great too. My parents really liked her, and her family welcomed me warmly. But things started changing slowly. She began questioning my work hours and my friendships with female colleagues. At first, I thought it was normal relationship stuff. Then it got worse. She started checking my phone when I wasn't looking and questioning every call I received. One night changed everything. I was having dinner with my best friend Jake and his girlfriend. My ex was supposed to join but canceled last minute due to work. Later that night, she called me crying, accusing me of lying about who I was with because someone posted a picture from the restaurant on social media. I spent hours trying to convince her I wasn't cheating. The situation got worse when I started a new project at work. My team included several women, and she couldn't handle it. She'd call multiple times during the day and show up at my office without warning. I tried everything to make her feel secure. I offered to introduce her to my coworkers, shared my location, and even considered leaving the project. Nothing helped. Then came the biggest incident. I was working late with my colleague Anna on an important presentation. My ex burst into the conference room, screaming and accusing Anna of trying to steal me away. She threw a plant pot, missing us thankfully. Security had to escort her out. I was embarrassed, and Anna was shaken. The next day, my manager warned me that this couldn't happen again. That's when I knew I had to end things. I went to her place and explained that her lack of trust and constant accusations were too much. She didn't take it well. There was yelling, crying, and she threw my things out her window. As I left, she threatened to make me regret it. For weeks after, she kept trying to contact me. She'd call, text, and show up at places she knew I'd be. Her messages switched between begging for another chance and threatening to tell everyone I was cheating. I blocked her number and social media, and eventually she seemed to back off. I focused on getting my life back on track, working, going to the gym, and reconnecting with friends I'd neglected. Things were finally starting to feel normal again. Then last Friday, while I was home watching a movie, she showed up at my door. Before I could say anything, she announced she was pregnant and claimed it was mine. She said she was about 2 months along, which lined up with when we were still together, though things were already bad between us. I asked for proof and a paternity test, which made her angry. She accused me of not trusting her, ironic given our history, and threatened to tell our friends and family I was abandoning her and my child. Then she stormed out. Since then, I've been a mess. I can't focus at work or sleep properly. Part of me wonders if I'm being too harsh. What if she really is pregnant? But another part can't shake the feeling that this might be manipulation. I've spent hours researching false pregnancy claims and paternity rights. I haven't told anyone yet, not my family, not even Jake. The threat of her telling everyone is weighing on me. My parents would be devastated if they thought I'd abandoned a pregnant girlfriend. I've always tried to do the right thing, and the thought of everyone seeing me as a deadbeat terrifies me. But I can't just accept this without proof. Her past behavior makes it impossible to trust her word alone. The thought of being tied to her for life, especially given how toxic our relationship became, is overwhelming. I've even wondered if the child might be someone else's, given how obsessed she was with accusing me of cheating. Was she projecting her own guilt? Every option seems risky. If I reach out, am I opening myself up to more manipulation? If I ignore her, am I potentially abandoning my child? I know I need to do something, but I feel stuck. Each choice seems to have potential consequences I'm not ready to face. 2 weeks passed since I posted about my situation. A lot has happened, and I need to share the updates. After taking in everyone's advice, I decided to stand firm on requiring proof. A few days later, my ex texted me. She apologized for how she reacted and agreed to provide medical proof and take a paternity test when it was safe. We met at a coffee shop to keep things calm. She brought an envelope with ultrasound images and doctor's reports showing she was about 10 weeks pregnant. Looking at those images made everything feel real. We talked for hours. She explained she'd found out just a week before telling me and was scared about how to break the news, especially after our bad breakup. She admitted showing up unannounced and making demands was wrong. I explained why I couldn't just trust her word given our past. She said she wanted to keep the baby, but wouldn't force me to be involved if I wasn't ready. We agreed to wait until it was safe to do the paternity test. After our meeting, I felt I needed to tell my family. My mom was torn between excitement about being a grandmother and worry about the situation. My dad reminded me how bad my relationship with my ex had been. They supported my decision to get a paternity test. Jake, my best friend, offered to help however he could and suggested I talk to a lawyer. Over the next couple weeks, my ex kept me updated about doctor appointments via text. Then one night, she called in a panic saying she was bleeding and heading to the hospital. I rushed there immediately. After several anxious hours, we got the news. She had miscarried. The doctor said it was common in early pregnancies and wasn't anyone's fault. My ex was devastated. I drove her home, and we had a long talk. She apologized again for everything. The jealousy, the accusations, how she handled telling me about the pregnancy. She said she was starting therapy to work on her trust issues. She didn't try to get back together or manipulate things, which I appreciated. We agreed to give each other space. I started seeing a therapist too. It helped to have someone neutral to talk to. My ex and I texted occasionally. She updated me on her therapy progress, and I responded politely. I wasn't sure if we'd ever be friends, but I thought maybe we could be civil. Work got better. The awkwardness with Anna and other coworkers faded. I threw myself into a new project, which helped take my mind off everything. Then 3 weeks ago, I got a call from someone named Chris. He said he was my ex's former boyfriend. They dated during a break in our relationship. He had information about the pregnancy he thought I should know. We met at a bar the next evening. What Chris told me turned my world upside down. The baby wasn't mine. It was his. They had been seeing each other on and off even after my ex and I got back together. Their last time together was just before our final breakup. Chris showed me their text messages. In them, my ex talked about being unhappy with me but staying because she feared being alone. When she found out she was pregnant, she panicked. Then came the message that made me sick. She wrote to Chris that she planned to tell me the baby was mine because I had a good job and wanted kids, so I'd take care of them. I sat at that bar for a long time after Chris left. He'd felt guilty after the miscarriage and thought I deserved to know the truth. I couldn't sleep that night, wrestling with anger and disbelief. All her accusations of cheating had been projection. She was the one being unfaithful all along. The next day, I asked to meet my ex. When I told her I knew everything, she broke down crying. She admitted it all. The cheating, the lies, trying to trap me into raising Chris's baby. She said she'd been desperate and thought if I believed the baby was mine, everything would work out. I told her what she did was unforgivable, not just betraying my trust, but being willing to bring a child into her web of lies. She begged for forgiveness, but I knew there was no coming back from this. I told her I never wanted to see or hear from her again. After that, I told my parents and Jake everything. They were furious on my behalf. I also told a few mutual friends. I knew my ex might try to spin things, and I wanted to get ahead of it. Most were shocked and supported me. One friend admitted she'd suspected the cheating but hadn't been sure and hadn't wanted to get involved without proof. 10 months have passed since I last wrote about everything. I thought the story was over, but life had other plans. Things were going well. I got promoted to team lead at work, and Anna and I had been flirting a bit. I was hesitant about dating a coworker after everything that happened, but there was definitely something there. Then one evening at the supermarket, I ran into Chris. We got coffee, and he told me my ex had a complete breakdown after our last meeting. She quit her job, moved back with her parents, and started intensive therapy. Then he dropped the news. She was pregnant again, and this time it was definitely his. They weren't together, but he planned to co-parent with her. At first, I felt angry. How was it fair that she got to have a baby after lying about the last one? But then I felt relieved it wasn't me tied to her forever. Chris seemed excited about becoming a father, though nervous about co-parenting with her. He mentioned she'd made progress in therapy and wanted to apologize to me in person. After talking with my therapist, I agreed to meet her. We met at a park, keeping things public just in case. She looked different, smaller somehow, less confident. She apologized for everything. The cheating, the lies, trying to trap me with someone else's baby. She explained she'd been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which helped explain but didn't excuse her behavior. I told her I couldn't forgive her yet, maybe not ever, but I hoped she'd continue getting help, especially now that she was going to be a mother. Before leaving, she mentioned she knew about my promotion in Anna, saying she was happy for me. Since that meeting, I've let go of my anger. Not because I forgive what she did, but because holding on to it was only hurting me. Anna and I started dating, taking things slow and being open with our boss about our relationship to avoid problems. It feels different from any relationship I've had. There's trust and honest communication. Work is going great. My team's project is successful, and I'm actually excited about going to the office. Jake jokes that he knew Anna and I would end up together from the moment my ex caused that scene at work. My parents are just happy to see me happy again. Chris still sends occasional updates about my ex and the pregnancy, which I appreciate but keep at a distance. I wish them well, especially for their child's sake, but that chapter of my life is closed. Looking back, I've learned a lot about relationships, trust, and standing up for myself. My relationship with Anna is still new, and I don't know where it's heading. My career is going well, but there will always be new challenges. That's just how life works. But for the first time in a long time, I'm actually excited about the future. I've taken all the hard lessons from what happened and used them to build a better life. Sometimes the worst experiences lead to the best changes. You just have to be willing to learn from them and move forward. A lot of people have asked if I regret how I handled things with my ex. I don't. Demanding proof when she claimed she was pregnant, cutting contact when I learned the truth, meeting her that final time. Each decision helped me get where I am now. Sure, it was painful, but necessary. The whole experience taught me that trust once broken is nearly impossible to fix, that it's better to end a bad relationship than try to force it to work, and that sometimes people will surprise you, both negatively and positively. I never expected my ex to cheat or lie about a pregnancy, but I also never expected to find someone like Anna after everything that happened. Life is full of surprises, both good and bad. The key is learning how to handle them and keeping faith that better things are ahead. That's what I'm doing now, looking forward, not back, and appreciating the good things that came from a bad situation. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family who might enjoy it too. Your support means a lot. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or story ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.